Hey ladies, welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to teach you how to break in a new deck, I guess. So most tarot readers, spiritual practitioners, whatever you want to call them, they have a ritual with every new deck that comes into their hands, okay? So I'm going to demonstrate how to cleanse your deck and how to interview your deck, because you should interview your deck, and how to connect with your deck. First things first, ladies, do not ever open up a brand new deck and start shuffling and reading right away. Now, you can do it if you want to, but I do not recommend that you do something like that, because you got to remember, especially these mass-produced decks, these decks, they pick up a lot of energy, okay? They pick up a lot of dirty energy, crusty energy, dusty energy, weird energy. You want to cleanse your deck before you even get to going through the deck and shuffling, okay? So first thing you're going to do is cleanse, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay, so what you're going to do, you're going to remove the cards, and you're going to cleanse not just the deck, but the booklet that it comes with. Especially if you plan to keep your deck in the box, cleanse the box as well. Now, this deck has the most insane smell, the most chemical smell I've ever smelled in my life. I've already went through the process with cleansing this deck and interviewing this deck, but I still do not feel connected with this deck, and I feel it's because I just can't get past the smell. Okay, so this is the Cat People Tarot. I wouldn't recommend it. Okay, like the tarot that I recommend, I'm going to put them in the link below if you want to get them, but I wouldn't recommend them. Okay, so I'm going to use it for a demonstration, and I may give this deck away, because even though you see me buying tarot decks, I don't keep them all. Sometimes I give them away because I don't connect with them. Some of the decks were gifted to me, and I just never felt connected with these decks. And again, that is absolutely normal. Okay, it is normal to buy a deck and not feel connected, and this is one of the reasons why, when it's your first deck, get you a traditional Rider-Waite tarot deck. I'm going to put a link in the description below so that you can get the original Rider-Waite tarot deck, because I bought my first deck in 2016, and it's almost 10 years, and that deck is still my ride or die today. The most accurate readings I get from that deck, and it's the best deck to learn tarot because it's the original. But there are some decks that have like the meaning written on them. Give me just a sec, I'm gonna show you. So this deck here, the Classic Tarot, one of my subscribers gifted me this deck from my wish list, and I had this deck in my wish list for a long time, and I never really updated my wish list. Okay, so I'm very grateful that she got me the deck, but I'll show you the problem with this deck. Okay, this deck has all the meanings written on the deck, like the generic meanings or whatnot, and people think that if I read with this deck I would learn better. But I'm telling you that the best way to learn tarot is get you a tarot book. I'm gonna leave a link in the description with a tarot book that is good for beginners. I'm gonna put it in the description for you, and go ahead and get that deck. Okay, but you're not gonna learn if you relying on these type of cards. Okay, and if you're relying on ChatGPT to read the cards for you, you will never ever learn how to read tarot, especially intuitively. Okay, so it is okay to look up the meaning of the cards. If you use ChatGPT to look up the meaning of the card, that's great. But if you're asking ChatGPT to interpret your spread for you, you have to remember that ChatGPT is a robot. Okay, it's not a human being, it's not sentient, it is not going to read intuitively. Because I tried it, and the way that I read it, the way I interpreted compared to the way that ChatGPT interpreted the reading, completely different. And I felt that my interpretation resonated way more than what ChatGPT told me. Another thing that you should start doing, instead of just shuffling and just taking out cards, start using spreads. Okay, use a specific spread so that you will be able to read the card better, because when you shuffle your cards and the cards in front of you and they don't make any sense, this is where people have a problem. Okay, so if you really want to learn tarot, use a specific spread. I'll share some spreads in the Facebook groups. Sorry. Join the Facebook group. The Facebook group is in the link in the description below. I also have a Patreon, so sign up below. I put my spells on the Patreon, okay? All the spells, I put them there. Anyways, so yeah, do not rely on this deck, because you will never learn. Once you take it away and you start looking at the cards and start connecting with the cards, I promise you, over time you're gonna get a lot better with reading your cards. All right, if you just read the cards just for divination or whatnot, that is fine, because not everybody is a tarot reader. So if you're doing spell work and stuff like that, I do recommend that you use a divination tool. Okay, tarot is just one of these divination tools. Now, I'm sorry to ramble on, but I have to get it out of the way, because I felt like that was important. Now let's get to cleansing your deck. All right, and you're gonna use incense. Okay, frankincense is great, because frankincense, it cleanses and it raises the vibration. I'm gonna use frankincense incense today. I'm not gonna use Palo Santo, because then Palo Santo ain't cheap. Okay, and I don't get good Palo Santo here in Trinidad. So go ahead and light up your incense. Make sure it's all good and light. Take your deck and smoke out that deck. Okay, you can separate your deck if you want to get it all up in there. You can separate your deck into 3 and smoke out your deck. Give it like a good smoke cleanse. All right, okay, so you give it a good, like, you let that smoke run through the deck. Can you all see all that smoke? Because I don't even know if the camera is picking it up. It's a lot of smoke, but maybe the camera is not picking up all of it. You smoke out that energy and you cleanse that energy, and you can say, I cleanse this deck of all negative energy and of all residual energy that is not mine. Cleanse the box as well. Okay, get it a good cleanse, and cleanse the little booklet, like cleanse everything, the inside and the outside as well. So I'm gonna leave this incense burning. Now that your deck is cleansed, now what you're gonna do, you're gonna go through your deck. Okay, you're gonna go through your deck like this. Go through your deck, look at every card, look at the images, try to connect with the images, see what messages you're getting from the images in the card. Literally go through the entire deck. Okay, sit down and go through the deck. Go through all 78 cards. This is only going to take you a couple minutes. All right, now when you're done doing that, what you're going to do, you're going to separate your cards and you're going to spread them like this on a flat surface. Okay, I can't show you because I'm not sitting in front of a table. I'm actually sitting on the floor, as you can tell. Okay, so you spread the cards on a flat surface, and then you wash the cards. You mix them up really, really good, and then you shuffle the cards. Okay, so you're gonna shuffle the cards. Give it like a good old shuffle, and then you ask your deck. This is when you interview the deck. Okay, like you're shuffling the card, you're getting a feel of the cards, and then you ask the deck whatever question you want to ask the deck. But I usually like to ask the deck, what is our relationship going to be like? What is our relationship going to be like? Okay, and draw one card, and I pull the Knight of Wands. So before I move on to interpreting this, I always read the cards upright. I don't read reversal when I'm interviewing the deck. I always read upright. Now the Knight of Wands is basically a journey, a fast moving journey. Okay, and there may be changes. So this is a deck that is coming into my life, and this deck is going to accompany me on this spiritual journey that I'm embarking on. So that's basically how I would interpret this card. So yeah, that's how you interview your deck. Okay, you can ask as many questions as you want, but I usually just ask 2 questions. Okay, like, why did you come into my life? What is our relationship going to be like? So yeah, those are the 2 questions that I usually ask every single deck that I have. Now, after you interview your deck, what you need to do is sleep with your deck under your pillow or near you. Okay, let me put this back, because I need to put this card down so that I can concentrate and talk to you. My leg fell asleep. I had to adjust. So anyways, sleep with your deck under your pillow for about a night or two so that you can connect with the deck. And every day you're going to shuffle the deck and you're going to pull a card or two from the deck. Okay, so shuffle the deck, and when you get up in the morning, pull out a card, see what's happening, ask a question if you want to. And yeah, that's basically it. That's basically how you properly connect with your deck. This is basically the ritual that you should do with every single deck that comes into your hands. Okay, don't take a brand new deck and put it with all your other decks that you have been using if you have other decks, but never ever, and I'm not saying that you should do it, because you should do whatever the hell you want, but I would not recommend that you ever bust open a deck and start shuffling right away. That's not how it should be done. You want to connect with your deck, because your deck is yours and your energy is attached to that deck. Okay, so please, this is not a game. This is not some kind of playing cards game or something like that. You know, these tarot decks are actually very much spiritual. As a matter of fact, my grandmother, who was, you know, very much Christian, she didn't even like playing cards because she really believed that playing cards held energy, and some of them actually have spirits attached to them. Like, she actually believed that. And I actually understand where she's coming from, but at the end of the day, you know, your tarot deck is a spiritual tool, okay, and you have to treat it as such. So again, I wouldn't recommend this deck, because this deck is very much mass produced, and honestly, like, I feel like some of these decks are being created by AI. Like, I have an intuitive tarot deck, and I believe it was created by AI. I'm going to show it to you. Hold on. Okay, so this is the first tarot deck I've ever bought. Ever. Not tarot deck, sorry. The first oracle deck. This is the oracle deck, and this is the intuitive oracle deck. Okay, look at the artwork. Okay, not bad, okay. But then when I open the deck and I look at the cards, tell me that's not AI. Like, do you see that? Do you see this? Like, does this look like AI to you? Because it looks like AI mass-produced work. Usually, you know, people, when they create tarot decks, they commission an artist, or some of them are in fact artists, and they create the deck themselves. But I don't know. And I kept it because, you know, it is pretty when you look at it. But I feel like this is one of those mass-produced AI decks, because you know, AI is everywhere now, and AI is infiltrating, you know, the spiritual space, as we all know. So yeah, I don't use it for readings. I just don't, especially when I'm reading other people. I don't use this. I don't use it. Like, this is just part of my collection, you know. So this is why I keep buying decks, because not every single deck that you buy is going to connect to you, unfortunately. So this is why I recommend always get the original Rider-Waite deck. So anyways, that's all for this video, and thanks for watching. I hope it was helpful.